Very much, Jessica. 9 News at 6 begins right now.
Tonight, no charges to be laid against the pizza worker whose lie led to lockdown. SA Health refusing to help police because it would breach the liar's privacy.
As police hunt the remand centre escapee, the Minister and Corrections Chief make an escape of their own as they're asked how it could happen.
Their behaviour was bad enough, but wait till you see how this road rage clash almost turned tragic.
Banned. The vodka shots authorities say are a lure for underage drinkers.
And humble hero, meet the doctor whose quick thinking helped contain our COVID cluster.
This is Adelaide's 9 News.
Good evening. He's the pizza bar worker whose COVID cover-up led to South Australia's lockdown. But tonight, police have revealed he won't be charged.
Detectives say they're unable to prove the lie in court because SA Health is refusing to reveal details about what the man said because it would breach his privacy.
It was the lie told by a pizza bar worker that plunged South Australia into lockdown, sparking public outrage and the formation of a police task force. Now officers have confirmed the man at the centre of the controversy did mislead SA Health contact tracers as they were trying to contain the paraffin COVID cluster.
That conversation was central to information provided by SA Health to the decision makers preceding the lockdown.
The lie was told by a man who was infected by a co-worker at the Woodville Pizza Bar, but instead of admitting he worked at the takeaway outlet, he told health experts the only contact he'd had with the business was ordering a pizza, when in fact he was a regular worker at the restaurant. But after an almost 2-week investigation, police say they can't build a case against the man to potentially be put before court because SA Health won't hand over details of the conversation in which he lied, and that's because it's considered medically confidential.
There's only one way to say this. SA Health have exercised what they say is their obligation to claim privilege and not provide information to the investigators.
So police can't prosecute because a government department won't give them the information they need. SA Health late today said all information it obtains is confidential and treated the same way that patient information is protected and will only be shared to prevent a public health risk. The pizza bar worker, a 36-year-old Spanish national here on a temporary graduate's visa, has already apologised publicly through his lawyer. Police also sought to speak to others connected to the pizza bar about what they knew, but
all I'll say about the other people is that they've exercised their right to silence.
We've spoken to the lawyer of the Spanish national at the centre of this controversy, and he says his client is extremely remorseful but relieved no charges will be laid against him. And Kate and Brenton, he's out of lockdown too and been cleared of COVID.
Kazaya, thank you. Well, he's been on the run now for more than 30 hours, and tonight the hunt continues for escapee Jason Brenton. Police searching multiple properties across Adelaide. 9 News cameras there as armed officers, including members of the Star Group, swarmed Croydon Park raiding a home. But the fugitive was nowhere to be seen. The 33-year-old has been at large since escaping from the Adelaide remand centre yesterday morning, breaking through a vent in the ceiling and using a makeshift rope to lower himself onto the footpath.
Yeah, we're doing everything we can. We've got our police operations centre open 24 hours a day while we coordinate the activities to locate this person.
Kate Lamb is following the manhunt. Kate, are there any new leads?
Well, Kate, police won't say if there have been any confirmed sightings of the fugitive today, but what they have revealed is that they believe Brenton has switched the number plates on the car that he might be travelling in. That car is a black Toyota RAV4, which has distinctive silver roof racks, as well as a camping awning on one side. It was stolen after his escape yesterday and, as mentioned, is now believed to be displaying stolen number plates. The message remains for the public that if you do see him or that vehicle, do not approach. Instead, call police immediately. Brenton.
All right, Kate, thank you. Meantime, how Brenton was able to escape from a maximum security prison remains unanswered tonight, with the Minister and Corrections Chiefs turning their back on questions. It was confirmed less people now work at the facility since it was privatised, with fresh concerns about whether staffing levels are safe.
finally fronting up over a maximum security failure. The Corrections Minister and Department boss trying to explain how this could possibly happen.
Are you responsible, Minister, or is it the gentleman behind you?
We're not shying away from the fact that it is completely unacceptable.
I'm responsible for the good order and security of every prison in South Australia. So ultimately it is my responsibility.
An investigation launched into the breakout, but details remain scarce more than 24 hours on.
Why does the gentleman standing behind you still have his job?
Thank you very much for the question, Rory. Obviously, any escape in any prison facility is completely unacceptable. And I understand the angst that's out there, but we're doing everything we can.
The building has been patched up to prevent copycats, but what's happening inside remains a concern. The union that represents most of the workforce claims staffing in some areas has been cut by as much as 75% since it was privatised last year.
The staffing levels are really, really disgraceful in here. At the end of the day, you can't have two people looking after 30 or 40 people. That's just ridiculous.
For a second day, those who run this site were nowhere to be seen, refusing to front the cameras and refusing to provide more information about staffing levels. The corrections boss claims Brenton was being supervised before he fled.
But the details around that supervision, the form that supervision took, they're all very important questions that need to be answered.
Many questions going unanswered when the press conference was abruptly cut short.
I ask you why staffing levels have actually dropped. Can you answer that, please?
Private company Serco, who runs the remand centre, could be fined $100,000.
The buck stops with the Minister for Corrections. He has to answer how this privatisation has delivered a better outcome for protecting the people of South Australia.
Questions also remain about the response time to the breakout, 25 minutes passing from the escape to when police were called.
Any delay is obviously an impediment to mobilising our resources to potentially apprehend the person as quickly as possible.
Rory McLaren, 9 News.
Police are tonight investigating a shocking road rage incident with two men trading punches in the middle of a busy Adelaide street. The fight was filmed by witnesses who say other road users were put at risk by the men's actions.
Blow after blow, a vicious fight erupts between two drivers, spilling out onto oncoming traffic on busy Bulletin Road as cars narrowly avoid hitting the pair.
They came out from the car and start fighting in the road, in the middle of the road. And it was really, really horrifying to watch them. They are blocking the traffic.
The nasty road rage incident started near the notorious Britannia roundabout at 4 o'clock yesterday. The two vehicles seen swerving and cutting each other off, one of the drivers illegally filming the other.
Then he took out his phone from the car and started making his video.
The encounter witnessed by this man, who we've blurred to keep anonymous. He says he was too scared to get out of his car and try to break up the brawl.
Don't want to go out from my car and tell them something because they were very aggressive. They maybe not listen to me. So it's not safe for me as well.
His dash cam capturing the whole thing. The road rage continuing even after the pair stopped fighting and got back in their cars.
I was thinking what they're doing. They're fighting in the middle of the road. Just they're putting their life on a risk because the traffic is keep moving and it's coming very fastly from the other way.
New data from the RAA reveals 95% of its members have experienced road rage, with intimidating behaviour and rude hand gestures the most common form.
A surprising number of people have experienced in varying forms. Fortunately, very few of them have encountered situations like this where it has actually degenerated into physical violence.
Police say they are investigating the incident. Georgia Westgarth, 9 News.
Police are investigating how a man was injured in Adelaide's Chinatown last night. Officers were called to reports of a brawl near Grove Street just after 9 p.m. They found a man with leg injuries, but the patient told police he'd fallen on a glass bottle. The man was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
A novelty spirit sold in emoji-shaped bottles has been banned in South Australia amid fears it poses a risk to children. Retailers caught selling the alcoholic drink to South Australians in-store or online, now facing hefty fines.
It's novelty vodka, but the state government says this product is no laughing matter.
We've turned off the tap for South Australia to be able to buy this online.
South Australia, the first state in the nation to ban emodca, alcohol sold in yellow emoji-shaped bottles, which the government believes poses a risk to minors.
The problem with this packaging is that it's bright, coloured and in a representation of something that is attractive to children and used by children.
Sales of the product temporarily banned under the Liquor Licensing Act on the grounds it may appeal to children or be mistaken for confectionery or a non-alcoholic drink. The move welcomed by youth educators who say these types of novelty alcoholic beverages can encourage underage drinking.
The research is pretty clear that young people should be supported to delay their use of alcohol for as long as possible.
It's not believed the product had actually hit liquor store shelves here, but it could be purchased online. Now the state government says geo-blocking will prevent SA residents from getting their hands on it.
The way the retailer will need to comply with this is to not to sell to anyone with a South Australian address or postcode.
Any retailer caught selling a modca to a South Australian could face a $10,000 fine. It's the first time the state government has used this power to ban the sale of an alcoholic beverage, and it says the decision hasn't been made lightly.
I think we'll see the rest of Australia following suit.
Parents encouraged to flag any similar novelty alcoholic drinks of concern. Olivia Grace Curran, 9 News.
South Australia has recorded no new cases of COVID-19 for the 4th day in a row. Ella Duffy joins us. Of course, this is good news, Ella, but authorities say there's still a risk.
Brenton, authorities say we are not out of the woods yet, insisting this is not a time for complacency. More than 6,500 tests were carried out yesterday, and while there have been no new positive results, SA Health says we're still in a critical period and we won't know for a few weeks if the Parafield cluster has been beaten.
Until we've gone really the 2 full incubation cycles when we've had this in our community, the pressure is still on.
Today we met the hero doctor who identified the first case in the Parafield cluster. The young mother of 2 has been humbled by the praise she's received from the community. A bouquet of flowers, a small token of thanks for the junior doctor who saved our state from a second wave of COVID-19.
I feel like I'm in a dream.
After 14 days in quarantine, Dr Dharmini Ratnam is returning to work at the Lyle McEwen Hospital, the place where she uncovered the first case in the Parafield cluster.
I didn't expect her to come back as COVID positive. That was the last thing in my mind. We didn't have community transmission.
It was a busy Friday night in the emergency department when the elderly woman came in exhibiting no particular symptoms of COVID-19, but she did cough, so Dr Dharmini decided to get her tested, today recounting her shock at the moment she was told the swab had come back positive.
I went like, oh my God, are you guys pulling my legs? Is this a prank? No way.
Despite preventing a potentially devastating outbreak, the mother of 2 insists she's no hero.
I'm very humbled by that label, but I think at this time, every frontliner is a hero or heroine.
Instead, praising the efforts of the community.
All this would not have been possible if the people didn't work together with us.
Health authorities are urging all clinicians to keep swabbing patients for COVID-19, even if they have only the slightest of symptoms.
Please keep it at the forefront of your mind to be doing the testing.
Something Dr Dharmini will be thinking of as she gets back to work, helping the community.
I think I've been missing out a lot of fun here in the ED.
Ella Duffy, 9 News.
Police are hunting for a thief following a brazen smash and grab at a jewellery store inside Adelaide Arcade. Sterling silver stolen from the window display sometime between 4 and 6 a.m. The offender leaving a trail of blood, with forensic investigators combing the scene.
We expect it was just an opportunist to jump the fence, simple as that. So we don't see anything more sinister than that.
Police are analysing CCTV with the suspect still on the run.
A woman has been charged with stabbing a man in the back at Henley Beach. Emergency crews finding the 42-year-old victim suffering from a single stab wound when they were called to a Wright Street property just before 2:30 a.m. He was taken to the Royal Adelaide Hospital in a serious but stable condition. A 32-year-old woman was arrested at the scene. She's been charged with aggravated assault causing harm.
A serial pervert who exposed himself to schoolgirls and women will soon walk free. Sebastian McKay was arrested over a spate of incidents in July and August, admitting he'd asked teenagers and women for directions while exposing himself from his car. The 32-year-old, who's been convicted of indecently filming a minor, labelled in court a clear and present danger to children. But the magistrate found McKay's nearly 4 months behind bars was enough, ordering him to be released from custody on Sunday.
A 9-month-old baby is among 5 people killed when a driver ploughed into pedestrians in the German city of Trier. The local mayor described the horror as the city's blackest day since World War II.
Tackled to the ground, then taken into custody. A driver's deadly rampage lasting just 4 minutes. But in that short time, police claim the 51-year-old man left a 900-metre-long trail of destruction. Witnesses described seeing people and a pram flying through the air as an SUV ploughed through the city centre of Trier in southwest Germany. Police allege the driver was zigzagging, deliberately targeting victims and striking them down. Among those killed, a 9-month-old baby.
Es war einfach nur schrecklich.
The city's mayor visibly shaken, describing the infant's sneaker left at the scene. The number of dead now stands at 5, with 15 seriously injured, but the toll could have been much higher. If it weren't for current coronavirus restrictions, the popular site for Christmas markets would have been shoulder to shoulder with shoppers. The December horror reminiscent of 2016's attack when a truck ploughed into a Berlin Christmas market, killing 12. This time, German prosecutors have ruled out terrorism.
Nicht äußern kann. Wir haben aber keine Anhaltspunkte.
Telling media it's unclear what the man's motives were, but they didn't appear to be political or religious, claiming the driver was drunk and mentally unstable, using a friend's car to carry out the attack. In London, Kari-Anne Greenbank, 9 News.
Warren Treadway has sport a little bit later on. Now, Treaders, the Aussies might have India on the ropes again, we hear.
Yeah, they bowled first today and did pretty well, albeit on a small ground. We'll have those highlights later in sport, as well as how this potential #1 draft pick is counting down the days, and the incredible 4-way battle for one shirt at Adelaide United.
Thanks, Treaders. We'll see you soon. Well, scam phone calls are stealing $100,000 a day from innocent Australians. Next, we'll tell you the new ones to look out for and the plan to stop them. Plus, the new player in the airline wars promising full-service flights at budget prices.
Handcuffing a 14-year-old distressed girl.
We're going to handcuff her up.
Heavy-handed or fair, you be the judge. The vision that will get Australia talking.
Just absolutely shocking. Their system is broken.
This is in Australia in 2020.
A current affair next.
Paramedics. One of the most terrifying things you could ever go through.
I know this is scary, but you're going to be okay.
Tonight on 9. It's the world's toughest race.
We need to evacuate ASAP before the border closes.
25,000 kilometres.
Don't stop, just keep moving.
With no phones, no credit cards, and no planes.
I'm out of the race. I quit, I'm done.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Someone call an ambulance.
The world is at their feet. Brand new Race Across the World starts Thursday, 8:30.
I'm off to see a man about a dog.
Ooh, I've got to make a little deposit.
Time to do some paperwork.
Hey, love, I'm just off to download some software.
It doesn't matter how you say it. It just matters that you do it regularly. Take Metamucil daily, a natural way to stay regular and support a healthy gut. Get Metamucil from Chemist Warehouse for the best price.
Go take care of business.
At Coles, we're doing everything we can to help you shop safe this Christmas.
That's why we're doing extra cleaning.
And helping you keep your distance.
Use the Coles app to be a speedy shopper.
Or don't even leave your car with Click and Collect.
Or your house with contactless delivery.
Thanks for your understanding at this time. It's all to help you.
Shop safe at Coles this Christmas.
This Christmas, show them you know them. With meaningful gifts from Officeworks. Officeworks, helping you make bigger things happen.
The St John Christmas Home Lottery is back. Buy your ticket before midnight Sunday to be in next week's draw to win your own corporate box for you and 17 mates for next summer's International Cricket Spectacular. Buy your ticket today.
Love Domino's $5 pizzas? Get them with any pickup order, including new car park delivery for no extra charge. Large value pizzas from $5. Bring it in.
What's the key to never skipping a beat? And intelligent parking? It's the Nissan Qashqai with Apple CarPlay. The key to it all.
9 News, brought to you by the Nissan Qashqai Midnight Edition. The key to the night.
A judge has released evidence of a taxi driver casually leaving the Adelaide Aquatic Centre having preyed on a young woman inside. The now convicted rapist is awaiting sentence, his denials over the attack continuing long after his arrest.
His hands wrapped in paper bags to protect DNA evidence. Taxi driver Hayas Cardo refused to answer police questions about the rape he'd just committed.
I need to speak to my lawyer first.
Okay.
And then I'll answer any question.
Sure.
Cardo seen walking casually out the Adelaide Aquatic Centre doors, driving home in his own cab. He'd been here in the public spa area, waiting for his victim, a young woman, to fall asleep before attacking her in September 2018. CCTV capturing the predator using the spa's bubbles to try and conceal his horrific crimes. Police arresting Cardo at his Valley View home that night.
The victim's then woken up, and it's alleged that you've stopped doing what you were doing. And
sorry, what she said?
This is what she's saying, that she's awoken, so she's realised what was happening.
Cardo stood trial protesting his innocence. A judge finding him guilty of rape and indecent assault, revoking the 62-year-old's bail, ignoring pleas from his lawyer for it to continue. How long Cardo will spend behind bars remains to be seen. The sentencing process to begin when he returns to court in February. Tom Angley, 9 News.
An Adelaide developer has revealed new plans for the former Coca-Cola bottling plant on Port Road at Theberton 2 years after the factory closed. Australasian Property Developments wants to transform the site into a $350 million biomedical facility over the next 7 years. The so-called BioHub will feature 3 8-storey towers, along with a hotel, medical accommodation, car park and townhouses. It's promising 1,500 jobs during construction and could be home to 2,000 workers in the high-tech medical sector. Well, Australia is officially out of recession following the COVID-led economic collapse that shattered all previous records. But today's surprising bounce back has come with a warning about the road ahead.
A man with a reason to smile.
The Australian economy is coming back.
The Treasurer, who was forced to announce the first recession in 29 years, today got to declare the nation is emerging from its COVID-induced coma.
Australia has performed better on the health and on the economic fronts than nearly any other country in the world.
After shrinking by 0.3% between December last year and March, then collapsing 7% between March and June to send us into our first recession in almost 30 years, the national economy bounced back by 3.3% between June and September as household spending surged by 7.9%.
This past year has been an extremely difficult one for many people and for many businesses. But we have now turned the corner and a recovery is underway.
Led by New South Wales and Queensland, every state and territory grew except lockdown Victoria, which went backwards by 1%.
With Victoria reopening, it gives us some confidence that the fourth quarter will also be a pretty decent quarter.
But the return to growth does have to be seen in perspective.
And even a number like today doesn't recover lost ground.
Because a lot of damage has been done.
The economy is still no bigger today than it was almost 3 years ago.
And on that, Everyone agrees.
Technically, the recession is over, but the recovery is not.
The recovery will be uneven and it will be bumpy and it will be drawn out.
Despite the bounce back, the economy's still down nearly 4% across the year, which makes it one of the worst since the Second World War. The hurdles ahead include the government ending its wage subsidy.
When JobKeeper finishes in March, then we're going to really see what happens.
So this is just the end of the beginning.
Australia is likely to experience a run of years of relatively high unemployment being too high, and wage increases in inflation being too low.
Phone companies are facing $250,000 in fines if they don't do more to detect, trace and block scam calls. It's all part of a new code to help protect Australians. Here's reporter Charles Croucher.
They are frustrating, relentless and sadly effective. But today, a new industry code was unveiled and tonight we're being warned of 3 specific and prominent scams. The first involves calls or texts claiming to be from the Australian Tax Office. This is the most common scam in Australia. The advice: don't click on links or give personal details to people that have contacted you over the phone or text. The other 2 prominent scams involve calls from foreign countries, including one that will leave a missed call in the hope that you call back at an extortionate price. Australians have lost almost $36 million to scams this year. That's $100,000 every day. Telecommunication companies say they've blocked 30 million calls. Now they'll have to publish information on scam callers for customers, share information on scam callers with other telcos, and report identified scammers to authorities. The fine for failing to do so is $250,000.
Well, it's been a mild start to the week, but a burst of warmth is now in store. Jessica Braithwaite, we're starting to get those summer feels.
Yeah, we even got a little bit of it today, Brenton. There's been plenty of sun. It's feeling really lovely and calm here in Botanic Park at the moment. But today the temperatures were milder, so we only made it to around 22 degrees just a short time ago. But from tomorrow, we'll feel things starting to warm up. So we're going to go up into the high 20s tomorrow and then up into the mid-30s on Friday. Now, it is still a bit of a mixed bag because there's some more rain on the way for the weekend. So we're getting a bit of everything. And I'll bring you the detailed forecast very soon.
Thank you, Jessica. Well, there's a new player in the airline wars promising Qantas-level service at Jetstar prices. The full story is next, and why the Queen will break her Christmas tradition.
You're going to have to give this everything you've got.
This is awesome.
This could be the day my dreams come true.
Enough of all this chit-chat. We're here to do business.
17 years ago, I gave my baby away. And today, here she is.
Welcome to Lego Masters Season 3! All right!
This is tremendous.
Far out. This is it. This is a major day I was not prepared for.
This is today's build.
This is not very impressive. You're fired.
This is where we see the truth.
This is 9. Creating something that feels just right. That's an art. It needs just the right amount of room to move. Elegant lines, a unique flow. Precisely crafted and beautifully finished. So when you try it, well, you just know. All new Mazda CX-30. Everything just right.
Christmas is a time to come together. This year, it's more important than ever.
Show your support for SA businesses by making this Christmas a South Aussie Christmas. From all of us, thanks for your support.
Merry South Aussie Christmas.
Here's to the messy ones, to all the mess makers and mess masters. We say, bless this mess. Let the LG Cord Zero take care of it, wherever it ends up. Our compressor technology means that however you mess it, simply compress it. Enjoy long run time, easy storage, and powerful suction. LG Cord Zero with compressor technology.
The secrets to Rebel Wilson's amazing weight loss.
I probably haven't been the weight I am now since like high school.
A current affair next.
As our struggling airline industry gets back into the air, tonight there's a new player in the game. Rex has thrown its hat in the ring, launching a new domestic service to take on Qantas and Virgin Australia.
The only thing missing is the paint job as Rex Airlines prepares for takeoff. March 1, the launch date for the regional player to muscle in on the second busiest air route in the world between Sydney and Melbourne.
Some people might think we're mad, but we've actually been around a long time.
70 years, in fact, connecting city and country. And while the pandemic has crippled the aviation industry globally, Rex is said to be debt-free and ready to soar to new heights.
Using our past experience of successfully running a regional airline with a very low cost base, we can extend that into the domestic markets.
Rex has taken ownership of 6 737s from Virgin Airlines and will fly 9 return services a day between Sydney and Melbourne, promising a Qantas service with free carry-on luggage, food and drink at a Jetstar price. Tickets start at $79, compared to $71 at Jetstar, $109 at Virgin and $135 at Qantas.
At Jetstar, the queues are certainly long, while at Rex Airlines, the check-in is basically empty. But this new player is determined to shake things up. Sydney and Melbourne will just be the start. By Easter, it will also be Sydney-Brisbane, and then hopefully Perth and Adelaide.
And as other airlines shed staff, like the 2,000 Qantas baggage handlers this week,
we don't even have a final day when we work.
Rex is hiring.
This is a really good opportunity to give back to people a job that they've recently lost.
Damien Ryan, 9 News.
Overseas now, and a Swedish mother is accused of keeping her son captive in an apartment near Stockholm for more than 28 years. The 41-year-old man was found toothless and covered in sores after a relative visited the home. The mother pulled him out of school when he was 12 and had kept him locked up ever since.
Donald Trump says he'll be back in 2024 if his legal fight for re-election fails. The president was speaking to a crowd of mainly mask-free Republicans after putting pressure on health authorities to speed up the rollout of a vaccine.
Donald Trump looking very much at home, hosting a party at the White House. The president telling supporters at a Christmas reception he'll either stay or move back in.
It's been an amazing 4 years. We're trying to do another 4 years, otherwise I'll see you in 4 years.
But as long as he's president, he's taking credit for his successes, summoning the FDA commissioner to the West Wing to give him the hurry along on authorising Pfizer's vaccine.
Everyone wants to see American life saved, from Dr. Stephen Hahn to this president.
And it's full steam ahead inside the White House. Vice President Mike Pence leading a coronavirus task force call with governors to discuss distribution as the disease runs rampant ahead of America's winter. When the first vaccine doses arrive, an advisory panel today voted on who should be first in line.
The top group of individuals will be healthcare providers.
With vaccines developed on his watch, the president is now becoming impatient. But the FDA was ready for today's meeting here to become tense, indicating it won't be pressured to rush emergency use authorisation.
This president will never apologize for putting the fire under these agencies to say, yes, we want a safe vaccine. Absolutely. We also want a fast one because lives are at stake.
In Delaware, donning a new walking boot after hurting his foot, Joe Biden unveiled his administration's economic staff.
Help us build the economy back, not just build it back, but build it back better than it was before.
In Washington, D.C., Alexis Daish, 9 News.
And in developing news, the UK has become the first country in the world to approve the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine for widespread use. British regulators say it's safe for rollout. It offers 95% protection against COVID-19. Immunisations could start within days for people in high priority groups. The Queen will have a scaled-back Christmas this year due to COVID-19, planning to celebrate quietly with Prince Philip at Windsor Castle. It's the first time in more than 3 decades the monarch hasn't spent the day at Sandringham. Instead of her normal church service, she plans to worship privately at the castle's chapel.
From once a day to once a week, next the breakthrough new pen, changing the lives of those with diabetes. Plus, undercover in your local supermarket, the Ham Police, ensuring you get value for money this Christmas.
Handcuffing a 14-year-old distressed girl, heavy-handed or fair. The vision that will get Australia talking. A current affair next.
Please, help me! I want anybody help me!
Australia's Harriet Dyer.
If you want to leave here, tell me where to find you.
She sees what no one else can.
Visions and communication with the dead.
And solves the crimes no one else touches. Brand new drama.
I can help you.
The In-Between. Tonight, 8:30 on 9. And on 9 Now.
This Christmas, pick up Lindt Lindor pouches, 80 to 125 grams. Perfect for sharing or gifting. Now just $6 each. Helping you share the spirit of Christmas. Woolworths.
This sheep farming game's tough enough. There's no need to take risks if you don't have to. That's why I switched to Avenge Plus Fly, which contains the first new active for spray-on fly strike prevention in 20 years. With fast knockdown and a new mode of action, it's time to rotate your thinking.
Gippsland Dairy Yogurt. The taste made me do it.
It's easy to forget about your roof until something goes wrong, and then it can be a major hassle. But not if you call Right Price Roofing. Right Price has all your roofing needs. Re-roofing, roof restoration and guttering. Right Price Roofing can also build your carport or veranda, so it looks great, lasts longer and won't cost a fortune. Trust Right Price Roofing to get it right. Right choice, right price.
Get the price right at Right Price.
Shut up and take my money.
Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, wondering in the night, what were the chances, maybe sharing love before the night was through. Something in your eyes was so inviting, something in your smile was so exciting, something in my heart told me I must have you.
Put a little magic under the tree this Christmas.
Makita 2-piece brushless combo kit, only $299. Bluetooth earmuffs, just $99.
Where you find competitors lower price on the same stocked item will beat it by 10%. Bring home a little magic this Christmas.
Transforming Aussie classics into automotive masterpieces.
Holy cow.
Resto My Ride Australia. Tonight on 9 Rush.
People with type 2 diabetes could soon say goodbye to daily insulin injections. A breakthrough weekly treatment is delivering impressive results in trials, and it's just as safe.
Terry's one of more than 1 million Australians with type 2 diabetes.
They discovered this while I was being treated for a heart condition.
For years, he managed his condition through diet, exercise and oral medication.
I struggled a bit to maintain reasonable blood sugar levels, probably for the first 10, 12 years.
That struggle led to needing daily insulin.
Most people with type 2 diabetes, as time progresses, that they will need insulin treatment.
It can vary between 1 and 4 injections a day.
We do know that, using insulin, going onto insulin, which is an injectable, is difficult and challenging for people with diabetes.
A new ultra-long-acting insulin called icodec was given in a trial of more than 240 patients with type 2. When the once-a-week jab was compared to standard once-daily injections, it was found to be both effective and safe, the results published in a top medical journal.
The results in this study overall are quite impressive and may well come to fruition with another option for treatment for people with diabetes.
I think it would be great.
This approach is being investigated in a smaller study for patients with type 1 diabetes, but experts say the weekly jab doesn't mean people can avoid more intense treatment.
Many people will need quick-acting insulin around meal times.
Larger trials are now being carried out. Gabriella Rogers, 9 News.
In the days before Christmas, a secret team of ham police are working to ensure shoppers aren't being ripped off while buying their festive hams. It's all about the right weight and catching those selling porkies.
The festive table centrepiece.
That is fit for a king.
The piece de resistance of the Chrissy spread.
Everything you need to bring Christmas together.
And now the great Aussie ham is a target of an undercover sting.
I absolutely have the Christmas ham police out.
We'll be conducting some secret shopper trials.
A crackling unit from the National Measurement Institute, the Aussie ham police are hitting butchers and supermarkets around the country, ensuring when you spend your bacon, you haven't been hoodwinked.
We'll be checking the instruments that are measuring accurately.
That means making sure you get what you pay for, that there's no funny business like undercutting or injecting water to add weight. Those sorts of ham scams will see dodgy operators emptying their piggy banks.
In the most severe cases, an individual can be fined $44,000 and a company $222,000.
Thanks to COVID, more household budgets are under more pressure this Christmas. That's why it's so important you get your money's worth.
There's no purge in the product. It's nice and firm all the way through, and it's got a lovely, nice colour.
The top tip from the best butchers, stick with your local.
Well, there's always dodgy operators everywhere, so you've just got to know your reputable butcher and go from there.
Because come Christmas...
Definitely just prefer the traditional bone-in ham. Can't beat it.
Who wants a sham ham when you're going the whole hog? Rob Morrison, 9 News.
Dinosaur lovers will soon be able to see one of the world's best preserved fossils in person, with Melbourne Museum acquiring one of the most complete and well-preserved Triceratops skeletons ever unearthed. It's currently being excavated from a site in Montana, where it was discovered in 2014 and will have arrived in Australia next year.
Well, sports up next with Warren Treadray. And Treaders, the Crows might have unveiled some of their draft strategy.
Yeah, it's a game within a game. They always play the silly season of this, where they're actually who they're going to pick. So we'll have that story to you straight after the break, as the local star in the frame still has no idea whether he'll become a Crow. And the Indians rally to set Australia more than 300 to win in the capital.
Tomorrow on Today.
Australia bouncing out of recession, what it means for your budget. Plus,
we are boot scooting, baby, with steps.
Watch out, the 90s, they're back.
Are you sure?
Oh, totally.
We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early.
Maltesers, the lighter way to enjoy chocolate.
Dugu dugu man, you know, oh dugu dugu tan gal. Come on me yard, catching on me dugu dugu.
we've come a long way, and while we still have some challenges ahead, RAA is with you every step of the way. At home, on the road, and when it's time for a holiday, we're keeping our members moving.
Are we members, Mummy?
Of course. Because we're locals too, moving with you right here in South Australia. RAA.
Keep on moving on.
It feels like Christmas just like years ago. No sleigh bells near ringing. It feels like Christmas time is almost here.
Ooh, been through a bit to get here? Worth it. Check out this finance offer on CHR.
Make any excuse this play clearance. Get a 3.9% comparison rate across the CHR range. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Hey Adelaide, have you heard?
It's time to get that feeling.
Because SAFM is back.
Get that I love this song feeling.
With all the songs that you know and love from then till now.
Get that fun feeling.
With Carrie and Tommy from 3 p.m. weekdays.
And get that great start to your day feeling.
And wake up with us.
Beck.
Cozzy.
And Limo.
6 a.m. weekdays.
We'll give you that feeling.
What feeling?
Don't worry, it's a great one.
SAFM.
Go full Christmas for less with Bluetooth smartwatches, Bluetooth karaoke mics, and Bluetooth party speakers. This Saturday, only at Aldi.
Ready for any challenge. Battery power by Still. Only from your local Still dealer.
The secrets to Rebel Wilson's amazing weight loss.
I probably haven't been the weight I am now since like high school.
A current affair next.
The Adelaide Crows say they'll pick the best player in the prize #1 draft pick, hinting they will call Jamara Ugle-Hagan, who is tied to the Western Bulldogs. But local boy Riley Thilthorpe is tonight still none the wiser as to whether he's next on the Crows list.
There's now just 7 days until Riley Thilthorpe learns the name of his new club. He's killing the time any way he can.
Just hang out with mates, playing a bit of golf, training to the beach, and yeah, just pretty simple, pretty stock centre stuff.
But he's adamant he'll embrace the challenge if it's his name called at pick 1.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy to take it on, but I know that once you get to a club, you start from the bottom, so I just want to get to a club and, get the respect of the boys and work my way up.
But Matthew Nixie's hinting the Crows could keep the Bulldogs honest, forcing them to pay maximum points for NGA prospect Jamara Ugle-Hagan.
We'll pick the best player we believe that's in the draft. And if that's Ugle-Hagan because he is a super talented footballer, then that's where I guess a bid will come on him because we believe he should be #1 in the draft.
The exciting left footer has already been compared to superstar Lance Franklin.
Wouldn't care where I end up at. Obviously, Bulldogs great club, especially next year. Hopefully they'll be good. But yeah, I wouldn't mind where I go. Like, at the end of the day, it's just a number.
That would then put Thilthorpe and WA forward Logan McDonald in the frame. The Bloods forward still unsure if he's next on the Crows list.
They don't give you much, so I'll see what happens on the night. But yeah, pretty in the dark. Probably not as much as you guys do at the moment.
The benefit of hindsight proving picking the best player in any given year very much remains an imprecise science.
I don't think there's a clear #1, and most drafts will be like that.
Tom Wren, 9 News.
And the Crows have appointed 5-time Central District Premiership player Marco Bello as their new head of development. Bello has spent the last 7 years at Hawthorn coaching Box Hill in the VFL. He replaces Heath Uni, who's joined North Melbourne as an assistant coach. India has left Australia with a testing run chase in tonight's final one-dayer in Canberra. The Aussies were well on top through the middle overs before the tourists smashed 110 runs from the final 10 overs.
3 forced changes to Aaron Finch's side. Mitch Starc rested with a back niggle and a gold cap to debutant Cameron Green. India won the toss.
That's an expansive stroke and a good stroke.
And while Shikhar Dhawan tried to get on top, he couldn't beat the returning Sean Abbott.
Simplest of catch at short cover. Welcome back to the Australian team.
Gill opened the shoulders and the locals were up to the task in the stands.
Old mate Naflani brings it down.
Green was welcomed to the big stage by Virat Kohli.
So good. He's so good there, Virat Kohli.
But India's biggest concern, would anyone hang around with him, as our spinners took care of the middle order.
That is really close. Agar gets his second leg before wicket.
Kohli passed 50 and rarely looked troubled until this from Josh Hazlewood.
Kohli advances and is beaten. That's a cracker.
Not out from the umpire, Finch bravely reviewed. Nothing showing on hotspot, but Snicko confirmed the faintest of edges.
Hazlewood gets Kohli for the 4th time in a row.
The Aussies well in control, with Green proving he's no slouch in the field.
Great work on debut, Cam Green.
Hardik Pandya and Ravi Jadeja ensured the tourists wouldn't collapse. In fact, some heavy hitting in the final 10 overs left the Aussie bowlers a little rattled.
Have some of that. Oh, indeed. Probably the best of all of them.
Setting the stage for an enthralling run chase in the nation's capital. Corey Norris, 9 News.
The Victorian Premier has hinted a breakthrough in talks is imminent over a February 8 start date for the Australian Open, but there will be strict rules in place to ensure safety of all.
We will not compromise what we have built, this precious thing that Victorians have built, for the sake of any major event.
All players and support staff will need to quarantine for 14 days before the event and have 5 COVID tests while isolating. Adelaide United is sailing into uncharted waters this season without a first-choice goalkeeper. Former skipper Eugene Galekovic running the rule over 4 untried glovemen in a dogfight for the prize #1 shirt.
They're Adelaide United's next generation of goalkeepers, but the future starts now.
Yep.
Under the guidance of the club's most successful gloveman,
Lean forward up. That is bang. Soft there.
4 unproven goalies are all fighting for one spot.
Being a #1, no one's been there, so it's an exciting time for the club and exciting time for these boys.
It's an unprecedented situation after nearly 15 years of stability in goal, but one the Reds are embracing.
It's about giving the opportunity to one and for that one goalkeeper to grasp it.
Of the contenders, James Delianov is technically the most experienced campaigner. The 21-year-old made 1 appearance for Melbourne City and is hungry for more.
I'm doing everything I can to take that #1 spot, and hopefully I can get as many minutes as I can under my belt.
Also in the mix, untried locals Joe Gauci and Dakota Oxenham, both desperate to take the next step.
There's no one set in stone as a #1, so we're all working really hard and pushing each other. And in pushing each other, you push yourself at the same time.
There's nothing cemented as of yet. It's a positive environment, but it's also healthy competition. We push one another every day.
While 16-year-old Ethan Cox rounds out the club's awesome foursome, the Year 11 student's still pinching himself.
For it to be a possibility, it's just mind-blowing. To be in this space here at the moment, training with these boys, it's just really exciting.
Galekovic making one thing clear, the job is still anyone's to take.
I want all 4 goalkeepers to be at round 1 at the ready to go. And when that last week comes, as a coaching staff, we'll have to make that decision.
Will Crouch, 9 News.
Liverpool's advanced to the knockout phase of the Champions League, the Reds securing top place in their group after a 1-0 win over Dutch champions Ajax at Anfield.
And Liverpool are ahead through Curtis Jones. What an error there!
Manchester City played out a goalless draw at Porto, while both sides are assured of going through. But Real Madrid is in danger of missing the last 16 after a shock 2-0 defeat at Shakhtar Donetsk. And that's sport.
Terrific. Thank you, Treaders. Warming up the next few days, Jessica Braithwaite returns with the weather next. But now, here's a look at tomorrow's speed cameras.
Tune into the 5AA Breakfast Show tomorrow from 6 a.m. for breaking news, weather and traffic in and around Adelaide.
Handcuffing a 14-year-old distressed girl, heavy-handed or fair. The vision that will get Australia talking. A current affair next.
Always make a good impression.
Connecting Bluetooth.
Or just be yourself. Change the rules. The Toyota CHR. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
This Christmas, share succulent, award-winning Woolworths half-leg ham. 100% Australian pork, now just $9 a kilo. Helping you share the spirit of Christmas. Woolworths.
Harvey Norman, everything you need to make your house a home. Exclusive designs, quality-made choices and great value furniture with options for every home and budget. Come into Harvey Norman for a huge range of leather and fabric lounges and modulars and manual or powered recliners. For classic or contemporary dining suites, great home office solutions and the best of Australian-made lounge and dining room furniture. Shop with confidence on quality, value and service. Now at Harvey Norman, your furniture specialist.
Introducing Double Day Day on Uber Eats. 2-for-1 deals, Monday to Wednesday. Share 2 deals with a mate or eat double.
Can you shut up so we can eat? That goes double for me. Thank you.
We're Lumo Energy SA. We're 100% Australian owned and we're 1000% here for you, South Australia. Our thousands of customers give us the thumbs up because when it comes to community, helping you take control of your energy bills and giving you award-winning customer service, we're here for you. Also, you can live life with confidence, knowing your energy is in good hands. South Australia, we're here for you. Go online or call today.
Irresistibly smooth chocolate to put the world on pause. Lindor, made to melt you by the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
We all know SA quality home improvements for carports, verandas, patios and much more. But they're also experts in re-roofing. Whatever the style of your home, there is a true oak roof from the Next Star Australis series to suit. SA quality home improvements will re-roof your home for a great price. Plus, the first 20 buyers get roof insulation blanket free. Call or go online to book now. SA quality home improvements. The home improvement specialists.
SA Quality Home Improvements.
Hello. Ooh, carrots.
We grow them for Woolies.
Oh.
Oh, would the guys like some?
No.
It's Christmas.
If you insist. And one more for you. Oh. Let's go. Hey, up. Be good. Sharing the spirit of Christmas. Woolworths.
A huge bounce in GDP numbers was shrugged off by the market today, a wobbly day for shares and a flat finish in the end. BHP lifted 2%, but Macquarie and CSL held the index back. Westpac in particular focused after selling its insurance arm to Allianz for $725 million, but shares didn't react at all. And the Australian dollar was mostly stronger today, buying close to 74 US cents and 61 euro cents, but it's now dropped to its lowest level against the Kiwi since April.
Thank you, Chris. To the weather now. Here's Jessica.
Thanks, Brenton. I know it has been a milder day, but it's still feeling really nice here in Botanic Park right now. We had 22 degrees for our top just a little bit earlier on, and overnight the low dips to around 13 degrees. So across the suburbs, most areas today just sort of edged into the low 20s. Apart from Mount Lofty, we made 19 degrees there today. Now, if you have a look just to our north, you can see we actually had some of those storms rolling through there. They sort of crept over the border from New South Wales and Queensland, but the rest of the state stayed dry. It was 23 degrees at Kadina today and 20 at Port Lincoln. In fact, pretty much everywhere through the southeast sat around the low 20s today, and there was plenty of sun around. So here's why things are warming up from here on in. That high pressure system floating in over the Bight, it's going to start to drag some warmer air over us from tomorrow. So pretty decent temperature jump is in store. In the eastern states, well, certainly along the coast, things are remaining pretty soft though. Melbourne going for a sunny 23 degrees tomorrow, and Sydney looking overcast with 24. But here in SA, you can see the impact of that warmer air. So we're going to go back up into the mid-30s through the north, and then you've got places like Port Augusta going for 31, Port Pirie going for 30 degrees. And temperatures are looking really enjoyable around Nurra with 28. Murray Bridge should crack into around 30 degrees, and Kingscote should max out with a sunny 24. If you're on the water tomorrow, we've got southwesterlies to 15 knots during the afternoon before turning southeasterly around 10 knots at night. And lots of summery warmth across our suburbs tomorrow for your Thursday. 29 degrees at Elizabeth, a sunny 26 degrees around Glenelg, Noarlunga and Mount Barker. So in the city, we're going for a sunny, relatively calm and dry 27 degrees. And from there, you'll see things are warming up for the end of the week. So on Friday, we're going for 33 degrees. And it's a bit of a mixed bag, though, I have to say. We're getting a bit of everything for our first week of summer, because on the weekend we've got some more rain coming through. So Saturday looks warm in the high 20s, but at night time we could see some pretty significant rain coming through, maybe some leftover showers on Sunday with another big temperature drop, and looking like a cooler start to the beginning of next week, guys.
Much cooler, 20 degrees there. Thank you, Jessica. Well, that is the midweek bulletin here on 9. Thanks so much for joining us.
A current affair is next, then we'll have further updates across the evening before 9's late news at 10:30. From all the team, enjoy your night.